Welcome everyone to episode 13 here on Inspired Stories for the month of March. We're back doing another artist this month, and I chose an artist I've been listening to since I believe 2009, and that is Wale, the rapper from the DMV, DC area. Obviously, he's been signed to Rick Ross's Maybach Music since 2011, I believe. So I've just kind of been following his career. I believe I found him originally through the song he did called Chillin' with Lady Gaga, which was like his first big radio record. Obviously before that he did some mixtapes and some other things that kind of created a buzz around him and everything. But the Attention Deficit album that came out in 2009, that was like my kind of introduction to him. I remember being in middle school, and this is right around the time where I started delving into music on my own for the first time. Before that, obviously, just influenced by like my parents and my brother and stuff as far as like what they listened to. But it wasn't until I was probably like 10, 11, 12 years old that I started really just trying to, find different artists and find my own like style of music and everything. So Wale was actually one of the first people that I think I heard that I kind of just gravitated toward, just his style. I remember thinking like he always wore really cool sneakers and stuff like that, and that was always like part of the appeal. Even his logo, like his old logo was like shoelaces. It was like his name spelled out in shoelaces. So like the first, I think 3 or 4 projects, albums had that logo on it, and I always thought that was pretty cool. And I just thought his storytelling was amazing on that first album. And then when Ambition came out, which was his second album, but his like Maybach Music debut, that was kind of the album that made him a household name and everything. The title track with Meek Mill and Ross, I always loved that song, produced by T-Minus. I always go back to that one a lot. Obviously, Lotus Flower Bomb with Miguel was a big song, and I still kind of replay that every once in a while. I'd say though, for me, like I was a Wale fan, even like when The Gifted came out in 2013. I thought that album was pretty good. My favorite album though, still to this day, is the album About Nothing, which is the Seinfeld themed album, because he did the mixtape About Nothing, which was like his biggest tape in 2008, I believe, and then he did More About Nothing, I think in 2009, and I could be wrong about the years on those, but those were like themed projects behind Seinfeld. Like every song had different parts of Seinfeld episodes. So he did the album with Jerry, and man, I just loved the whole project. Every single song, I think it's, as a whole album, I think it's his best work from top to bottom. I know that he has said that it was kind of a dark place for him, like the things he was talking about in the record it wasn't really like uplifting music or anything. It was more kind of like brooding or darker type music, and it touched on a lot of different emotions and everything. And there really wasn't a lot of features on there. Like Wale albums tend to have a good amount of features. With this one, I think it was SZA, Usher on the Matrimony. God, who else? A couple other people. Not too many features though. So I just thought that was like a great utilization of like his skill set and his rhyming ability and his storytelling. Always go back on that album as one of my favorites, just period, to be honest, but it's definitely my favorite of his. And even since then, like he did Shine in 2017, that's kind of showing more of his dance hall and alternative side, some R&B in there as well. So I was never huge on that album, but I took a few songs from it. The Wow That's Crazy album was really cool a few years ago, and then more recently he did Forlorn 2 last year, which still has some really great cuts, like Light Years with Ross, Fluctuate, which I added as one of my favorite songs of 2021. Really love that song. Extra Special with Aunt Clemens, I thought that was a really cool collaboration between those two. So Wale, really, to me overall, I think he's just shown his consistency. Obviously, I know he feels like he has always kind of been slept on as a lyricist, and not really given the credit that he deserves, and I think that's fair. I think that's justified. I do think his music isn't for everybody, but I do think he has enough different ranges of styles within like his production choices and what he puts out there that you could find something you enjoy. Like even if you weren't a fan of him, you might find a song or even like a feature of his that you could gravitate towards and enjoy. Because he's just a very detailed artist, and he has a lot of different sides to, his personality and everything. So yeah, I've always had a lot of respect for him. Definitely want to see him live eventually. It's kind of weird that I haven't seen him, but I don't think he has come in my area real soon as far as like a tour or anything anytime. And I know this tour he's on now, I don't think he's coming around here, but one day I hope to see Wale live, because he's definitely always been one of my favorites, and I always will give him credit as an artist that got me into hip hop. And the fact that Lupe is one of his biggest influences, I thought that was always a cool tie-in too. So yeah, man. Obviously, most people know Wale, but if you don't, go check him out. Go see his music and everything, and I'm sure, like I said, you'll find something that you enjoy. So that was episode 13 of Inspired Stories, and we will be back in April to hopefully get the springtime going. Hopefully the spring weather's coming in. I have no idea, but we'll be back highlighting another producer. And until then, I appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you then. Thanks.